creatures made subject to vanity.
Yep.
So we designed to go off. We just went into the theater. This is the Most High's theater. He set us up to go off. But there's no excuse to just willingly sin, you know. But we're not no perfect men. That's the matter of fact. Somebody get Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. That's why we ain't supposed to be boasting in what we're doing as far as preaching the word, man, or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Because our righteousness is as a filthy rags, man. We're nothing, right? The only thing that we can glory in is Yahweh Shai, and in the spirit of what we've been taught in His word. That's why I said,
okay. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion.
that's right.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He has
Yo, this is going in, man.
This is the cold scripture. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
Right.
He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father.
That's right. And maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father. So Yahweh Shah's boast is that, hey, like he always said, man, I came from my father, basically. I'm not coming in my own stead. And that's why we're not supposed to be boasting or trying to basically, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Try to overtake certain brother's spirit by being harsh in judgment too soon and not being merciful, basically. Now understanding that you programmed to go off too.
Mercy rejoices against judgment.
Yeah, mercy rejoices against judgment. So you got to be balanced, man. You know, knowing that you ain't nothing yourself, man. We all need mercy at the end of the day.
Right.
If there was only one man, Yahweh Shai, and he didn't even boast. We just read. He boasted in his father. So anything that we boasted in is good. It should be in the faith, in his word, in Yahweh Shai. 2:8.
This is Ephesians chapter 2,
Somebody else.
verse 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High.
So for by grace, faith are you saved, man. And it's a gift. That faith, you gotta be, it has to already have been established, man. You have to be written in the book of life. Go ahead.
Not of works, lest any man should boast, for we are his workmanship, created in Hamashiach Yahushai.
That's it. It said, that's the point I want to get. It says, for not in works, no any man should boast. Because if this thing was all counted on like Esau's metrics, like at work, man, Jake, you know, we know about the time where Jake, when we was under the law of sacrifice, how Jake ran that thing into the ground. That's why the Most High done away with the law of sacrifice. And Jake, once they figure out the structure, Jake will find a way to maneuver to basically take a shortcut. Loopholes. But that's why the scripture says in what Samuel, that obedience is better than sacrifice. So, but everything is built on faith. So we don't got nothing to boast of, man. Because we all need mercy. That's the point. Go ahead. Oh, that's it. That's it. Somebody else want to break it down.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse, I'll start at verse 22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together unto now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. Here's the point. Verse 24. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for it?
Yeah, why doeth he yet hope for it? First and foremost, you gotta understand what faith is, man. Faith is, you know, doing the thing without absence of seeing something, loosely paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? So when we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and we do the will of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, we do that in faith, man, hoping to be saved, man. You know? And ultimately what this is all going down to, man, or what this is all boiling back to, just what this brother was actually bringing out, which is how this world, how this country and this place is so cracked backwards to the country or to the scriptures, man. that it all boils down to the so-called white man at the end of the day, man. You know, because we as the 12 tribes of Israel, the nation, man, the Most High, of course, he put hell on us for not being obedient. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, what makes me really think about this was, you know, I had a conversation with my grandparents, you know, just about the times that they had, you know, growing up when they were children, and how things were totally different for them, you know. And even being back then, there was things that they had to go through that we don't have to go through now because of, you know, Esau actually done some things different and made shit a lot worse. You know, and one prime example is with healthcare. You know, a prime example is with healthcare and even the food that you eat. Back then, he said that people were a lot healthier. People could do things, go farther. They lived longer. They didn't need all of the extra BS that goes on within the day. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, there was at that point where doctors and things like that used to come to your house and actually perform things on you. Well, then after that, you notice that the doctor stopped doing that because there was no money in healthcare anymore. And so what did Esau decide to do? He decided to start poisoning people to where for filthy lucre's sake, man. And so somebody can hold Romans chapter 13 and start at 11.
I got a precept for you. Going into what the brother was talking about on pretty much back then, how a woman, like, you know, our grandparents or whatever, they could eat food, you know, and the food was still tainted back then, but wasn't as tainted as now.
Right.
You know, we was of a higher stature. I'll say our men were more manly. Our women were more womanly. They knew how to shut the hell up when they needed to be quiet, iron their clothes, make dinner. You know, this is Second Ezra chapter 5, I started at verse 51. He answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore are not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature?
Man.
And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of their youth.
Yeah, so absolutely, man. The generations that are coming now, you know, the generations of old were a lot stronger, a lot healthier, a lot wiser, more spiritual, you know, than this wicked generation that we got now. You know, and that's provable through any of these tribes than everything that they've done, from their jobs, from the type of music they made, to the types of food that they ate, to the morals that they had, to the way that they followed instruction. Yeah, they were built from the school of hard knocks, as one would say. You know, they didn't have all that bullshit and that folly, and they weren't drunken completely off of the Kool-Aid of America yet, man. The so-called white man took a lot of time and took his time indoctrinating you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to get him with just where he wanted you to be, you know? And so
I was gonna say, even with that too, it's like the thought just came to my mind. It's like, even when you may see a picture of your grandfather or your great-grandfather, you know, his lineage. You know, when you see a picture of them back in the day, what kind of stance they had? They would stand there just,
yep.
You know, no smile. You know, I'm not saying it's bad to smile, you know what I'm saying? But most of the time they had a very stern, serious look on their face, man. Even me growing up, you know, I'm only 24, but my dad, whenever I was growing up, being young, you know, I'm not too old, you know, but even my dad, he would have us in a sense of order. You know, we couldn't just do whatever the hell we wanted to do. We had to wake up on Saturday mornings and pull weeds, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that the grass was cut before we could do anything.
Absolutely.
You know? And even with it, like how it is now, how back then our people were of a higher stature, you have kids nowadays, the generation after me, you know, I'll even say within my generation, you know, our people are dumb, man. Dumbed down, you know, they're you know, they're babies, you know, Similac babies, I'll say. you know, eating GMO babies, GMO kids, you know, and even the generation after me, I'll just say after our generation, I'll say, you can see the direction that they're going in, man. You can see they have zero understanding, you know. They don't know about simple mathematics. They don't know how to read. You know, all they know is what they hear on the radio. All they know is real housewives of basketball wives of Atlanta. You know, all they know is Nicki Minaj getting pink hair. You know,
Drunk off of the philosophies of Babylon, man.
Exactly.
Complete confusion. And not only that, it also goes back to just, you know, Esau, you know, removing the man from the household, and things like that, and letting the woman rule over them, which is all, you know, all a part of the scriptures and the prophecies that were going to come to play out, you know. But again, you know, just loosely paraphrasing and backing up what this brother was saying in the beginning, you know, a lot of it comes back to just filthy lucre's sake, man. Money. That's why Esau does all of this. It's money. It all has to boil down to it, because when healthcare back then, when the doctors and all of them weren't getting paid, like my grandfather said, they didn't have to worry about nothing because there wasn't that many sick people, man. And a lot of people think that there's diabetes, there's obesity, and all of this other bullshit and these diseases that we have to this day. They weren't back in the 20s, 30s, and the 40s like that, man. It was unheard of. But then it just started coming out of nowhere as a big epidemic. People started getting sick, and it's all because of Esau fucking with the foods that you have, man, what you're putting in your body, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all behind what you actually put inside of you, because you gotta eat, you know? You have to eat, you have to drink, so we started poisoning your water, started poisoning your food, and all on top of that, what all of that is he doesn't have to tell you about what he's putting in your stuff, man. And even my grandfather even told me that. He was like, man, it came down to all of the processed food and the meats and stuff like that. Even to this day, you have completely, Jake, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, has no idea what is in their daily food that they put in their mouths. Sure, you can read the ingredients on the back, but it's all a lie. You know, it's gonna tell you all of the regular stuff that you think you need to know, but what about all the other shit? Because you gotta think, the meats that you have right now, all of that stuff, you know, that's a living organism, that's a living animal. It has stress, it has hormones, it has all types of stuff. But then they fatten it up and put different chemicals and things that you're not even supposed to have in your body for filthy lucre's sake, man. That in turn gets you sick. That then employs the doctors to come treat symptoms, but not treat the cause of what's actually getting you sick. And they don't tell you this because they want to continue to make money off of it. Somebody grab Habakkuk 2 and 6, Baba Show.
All the way out of conversation.
Oh, it's like
Habakkuk 2 and 6.
kind of.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Yeah, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man,
Right.
neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's right. Who's done that? Nobody but the so-called white man. He's went around and he's gathered all of the nations because he's insatiable. He can never have enough, man. You know, his portion that he has isn't good enough for him. He's got to have it all. He's got to have his cake and eat it too.
All right. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Woe to him that increases that which is not his. So if the so-called white man is going from country to country, from neighborhood to neighborhood, and messing everything up and taking everything from people, you know, and lying to you in the process, you know, that's him increasing that which is not his. Even if just as a prime example, if you look at healthcare, if you look at food, I mean the Food and Drug Administration, all of that is just big fronts, big lies, man, that they tell you so that they can constantly increase their money and for filthy lucre's sake, man. You know, all of that.
Today, I was gonna make a point. But all in all, like the brother's gone into beautifully, man. The so-called white man, the scripture says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So if the wicked, if the so-called, if Esau is controlling the food industry, knowing that there's GMOs in the food, knowing that he controls the pharmaceutical industry, he controls the doctor's offices and the hospitals. He's gonna give you these foods to eat, knowing that you're gonna get sick, so that you can go to the doctor, like the brother just said, to treat something, treat whatever case or disease that you may have, and give you a pill or some liquid to drink down, just to so-called treat it. But you're all in all, man, you're not fixing the problem.
Nope.
Money, he's making money from you all seconds of the day. All seconds of the day, he's making money off of you.
Making money off of you while they kill you at the same time.
Absolutely. And believe it or not, if you go to these doctors and things and they diagnose you, they incorrectly diagnose what the issue is, and then they subscribe a pill or some type of drugs that they're going to put you on, and it's a illness that they can't cure. So therefore, it's a cycle that you're in, and you're going to have to take these pills or that antibiotic or whatever they subscribe to you for the rest of your life, which in turn means that's residual income by hand over fist. If you're just one person, think how many Jakes are in the world that have diabetes or that have cancer and that have all this other stuff. And all of these other societies that they're supposedly trying to find this cure, they're actually right in bed with the same person that's actually causing you the issues. The FDA, the USDA, the Food and Alcohol, all that stuff, they're in the same bed. And those people actually sponsor the American cancer development, the American diabetes and breast cancer and all those breast cancer awareness things. All of those places, they're actually sponsored by that. And the whole part about that is that's why Jake has to wake up, man. The knowledge is there for you, but you don't want to hear it.
Hey, can I make a quick point? Because I was going to ask brothers, have you, or y'all can look it up on Google, this term called Hegelian dialectic. It is basically Esau's whole concept of creating a problem, then observing, you know what I'm saying, the reaction to it, and then he's already coming up with the solution. That's what the brother's going into. With the pharmaceutical drug industry, basically he knows that he can somehow poison certain foods, you know what I'm saying, the water supply, just all of like the minerals and the things that are needful to the body, they're being completely stripped from the earth. So then you have to go to these doctors and take all of these pharmaceutical drugs, man, and they don't do anything but suppress symptoms. They don't actually cure the disease like he went into. Problem, reaction, solution. The Hegelian dialect, you know what I'm saying? So that shows what you're going into.
You get the scripture there for it's Ezekiel 4:12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their food defiled, eat their bread defiled among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them.
And that's a perfect prophecy that has come to pass, man. You know, us as the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are eating our foods defiled among the Gentiles. So as you actually look at this, if you look at this right here, all of these foods, of course, according to the law, you know that there's certain foods that you can eat and certain foods that you don't. But even the foods that you seem as lawful, they're still poisoned and still tainted. And they're still worse off than you would think they are. Because you have no idea what's actually inside of the foods that they're giving you. Okay? And there's only one person or one nation that's actually doing that or in control of that. But the whole issue with that is, once you find out about that whole situation and you try to whistleblow, Esau has laws in place to protect them and to hush you up. They'll actually throw you into jail, you know, behind the truth of the whole matter.
Are you right? Dealing with these vaccines back in the 60s and 50s, these doctors knew they had an ingredient that had a cancer agent in the shit. They still was giving the people the damn vaccinations, man. So you people want to run and you listen to these commercials and shit, and they scare you with flu symptoms and this, that, and the third to make you go out here and get these vaccination shots. So let's imagine back since the 60s, how many people walking around with cancer and don't even know it for vaccinations, man. And the doctors came out and they moved them around or shushed them up, man.
Absolutely. They have laws such as such thing as a cheeseburger law. Okay? And what that is, a cheeseburger law is something that the the restaurant industry made up to protect them, just in case you come up and you have diabetes or you get some type of disease from it, you can't sue them or come out and say anything bad about them that can actually hinder or hurt their business, you know? And the reason that I'm going into this is because it's gonna tie all back to the scriptures, man. It's gonna come back to the truth. Okay, go ahead and bring this up, about the shop.
This is Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
How are the things of Esau searched out, man? Yeah, Esau, the first thing that the so-called white man does in any place that he is he comes to you with that slick tongue, and he comes to you and he comes with a smooth pitch, a lie, a real good lie. And he gets you to believe it, acts like he's your buddy, and then next thing you know, he covers up his wickedness with another lie on top of another lie, so that you can't see it. You can't see him coming. All right, that's why the scripture just said what it said. Read it again, Baba Shah.
This is Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
Go ahead.
How are the hidden things sought up?
Go ahead.
All men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Yeah, that's right, man. How are these things searched out, man? Through these scriptures. The Most High already gave us the blueprint on what was going on, man. But you ain't gonna be able to understand that unless you got the you got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures, man. If the Most High ain't dealing with you, you ain't gonna get it. You're still gonna be stuck in this rabbit race that you call America, man, and all of this confusion. And you're gonna continue to put bad things in your body and get killed by Esau in this society, slowly but surely, man. You know, and that's why he put the men of the Lord out here to warn our people, man. He even did that through generations of old, back with the apostles, man. Still to this day. And then whenever they went out to try to warn people, they got beat, they got stoned, put in jail, man, and all types of things, man, for trying to stand up for the truth, trying to warn people, and trying to tell them about what's good and what's not, man. Okay? That's why Romans 13. You got it? Go ahead, bring it up.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep.
The time is now to wake up out of sleep, man. The time is now to get yourself together, man. Because this place ain't going to continuously go on forever like they predict it's going to. It ain't going to be no 2050, no 2070, Lord willing. You know? It ain't gonna be that. They thinking that they gonna have graduations and family reunions and all of this stuff, man.
I don't want to see 2020, 2018.
You know?
The quicker the better, man. Just get this party just completely accomplished, man. That's what the men of the faith waiting on, man. We're waiting on the fulfillment of all the promises that was made to our forefathers. We ready to inherit our kingdom and rule, man.
That's right.
We're tired of just being under subjection to a completely diabolical hegemon that has complete dominance over the earth. We want to actually have the ability to live, because even the peons among these nations, you know what I'm saying, because only the elite really actually live. They only have access to the real foods, the real substance, like the quality water, the quality air, because they see clouds. So they live off the grid. You know, they're able to live in lands to where they're not affected by the things that they put on the masses of the people, but chiefly I'm speaking to our people, the nation of Israel, man. That's why we want all the prophecies of the Most High to come to pass. The sooner the better, because we know that our salvation draweth forth. That's what it says in Romans 13.